Coming up on SCTV3, see what the Vagina Monologues has in store for their annual show tonight.
Plus, learn more about the annual Girls and Women in Sports Day.
All that and more tonight on SCTV3.
Good evening, and welcome to this edition of SCTV3 Weekly News. I'm Callum McCander.
And I'm Shane Barron. Thank you for joining us.
We start tonight here on Alden Street at Springfield College's Fuller Arts Center. The first performance of the annual Vagina Monologues is taking place right now. The episodic play brings awareness to struggles that women face.
SCTV3's River Mitchell went to one of their meetings to learn more about the Vagina Monologues and the impact it has on the attendees and performers.
Taking place in the Fuller Arts Center, the annual Vagina Monologues is underway, a collection of monologues written by author and feminism activist Eve Ensler. The monologues are the same year to year, as each monologue is based off different interviews done with various women from different demographics. The monologues highlight real stories and struggles that women face, as many of the monologues grapple with topics of assault and violence faced by women, as well as female empowerment. The club is also a no-cut club, giving many the opportunity to participate in telling these stories.
We start pretty much the first week we get back in September. So in September, that second week of monologues, we hosted auditions. Everybody gets a role. We just use the auditions to figure out what parts are going to be best for which individuals. We do everything from team bonding to helping people run lines and stuff, get into characters and stuff like that.
On Tuesday, the club met to go over final notes and reminders for the show, as they launched into several lighting tests to finalize what the backdrop and lighting would look like on show day. After that, the club did an entire run-through of every monologue, meaning again yesterday through a full run-through in costume. The monologues give women on Springfield's campus a platform to use their voice to tell these stories, which many believe is extremely important.
They're stories that are often underrepresented and are kind of these taboo topics that people are scared to say. People are scared to say the word vagina and to be out and open like that. And so this is a lot of just breaking stigmas and just embracing self-confidence.
Some of the stories that have been shared, from being angry about your vagina to some of the more serious things like vagina mutilation, those stories are important, and people need to know that these things are issues and that they are happening.
The first Vagina Monologue showing is currently going on right behind me in the Fuller Arts Center, but do not fear, because they have showings tomorrow and Saturday at 7 p.m. And if you're looking to go, it is $10, either cash or Venmo. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm River Mitchell.
Last night in the Dodge A&B room in the Richard B. Flynn Campus Union, the John M. Wilson Center hosted a discussion-oriented event focusing on the Black Power Salute, the 1968 Summer Olympics, and the intersection of politics and sports. The Black Power Salute, an iconic and important act by Tommy Smith and John Carlos in the 1968 Summer Olympic Games, was an act of defiance against systematic racism in the United States. During this event, students watched clips from a documentary and engaged in thought-provoking conversations. Graduate assistant Elena Ferraro was one of the moderators of the event and shared her insight as to why talking about these issues is important in our society.
This example is a historical representation, but it's important to acknowledge how it affects our contemporary world, and giving not only acknowledgement and recognition for that, but celebrating the culture that has integrated all of our lives, and I think that goes unnoticed a lot of the time. So it's a reminder of just how connected we all are.
The documentary shown during the event is Black Power Salute at the 1968 Olympics and is available on YouTube.
With yesterday being Ash Wednesday, many Springfield students took the opportunity to attend the campus service. I also attended, and here's more. Yesterday at Springfield College, an Ash Wednesday service was held in Marsh Memorial Chapel. Students and staff filled the pews to hear Father Daly's sermon and receive their ashes. I spoke to the Director of Spiritual Life, David McMahon, about the importance of the day.
It's the start of 40 days of reflection, and it's a time for us to step back and to examine ourselves, see the broken parts of our lives, but also examine the world and see the broken parts of it, and then examine our relationship to God. And so in Ash Wednesday, reflecting on our own mortality and where we fall short, we're reminded that whatever our failings, God's always there to help us and support us and bring us towards a fuller life.
As the organizer of events like this, it means a lot to David to see such a large amount of students practicing and displaying their faith here on campus.
I think we have always been known as a campus that takes the spirit side of the triangle seriously. That changes throughout the years, but this is a time of year that really, as someone who works in this, it's wonderful to see so many people reflecting on where they are in life and where they're going.
Despite busy academic and athletic schedules, students still took the time to attend the service. Junior Christopher Mozica told me about his motivation for being present at Mass.
I definitely owe it to my family back home, especially my grandparents, very religious, very spiritual people that I hold myself accountable when I think about them, and coming here definitely brings me back home a bit, and I owe it to myself too to get into my own spirituality and belief and really immerse myself with the newest priest on campus as well and getting to know him.
Following the Ash Wednesday service here in Marsh Memorial Chapel, be on the lookout for other religious ceremonies being held here. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Shane Barron.
Tuesday was the first day of the Chinese New Year, and the Asian Culture Club held a celebration in Dodge A&B. Joined by the Office of Spiritual Life and the International Center, the Asian Culture Club celebrated the Year of the Horse, symbolizing good luck and fortune. Decorations representing Chinese New Year's covered Dodge, including figurines of the Chinese zodiac animals. One of the activities at the event was Mahjong, a game that brings fortune and luck while strengthening bonds. Music from the 2026 Spring Festival Gala was played while attendees helped themselves to chicken and fortune cookies, as well as noodles that embodies longevity and living a healthy life. The Office of Spiritual Life, alongside the Springfield Muslim Student Association, will be hosting a community iftar in honor of Ramadan on February 27th.
On Tuesday, the Business Club welcomed Springfield College alumnus Tom Wood back to campus as a guest speaker. In the Learning Commons, students filled room 201 to hear a presentation focused on building strong habits and making meaningful connections in the business world. Wood, now the Director of Performance Footwear and Advanced Creation at Reebok, shared his professional journey and offered advice to students. He gave detailed real-world situations and experiences that he went through. He even gifted 3 lucky students a free pair of Reebok shoes. Wood expressed how meaningful it was to return to campus and how it felt to be back on Alden Street.
I think it's great to come full circle. Always want to give back to a place that really gave me so much. Coming here as an undergrad student, I was a second-generation student. My father went to Springfield College. My wife went to Springfield College. I, of course, is a Springfield College graduate, and also my son is an incoming freshman.
If you're interested in similar events, keep an eye out for future guest speaker opportunities on campus.
Last Friday afternoon in the Learning Commons Forum, a transcribe-a-thon was held to honor the life of Frederick Douglass. Douglass was an instrumental 19th century abolitionist, and because he was born into slavery, he didn't know his exact birthday and chose for it to be celebrated on February 14th. Douglass Day is an annual event that celebrates his work, one that Springfield College regularly observes. People from across campus came to transcribe key documents from Black history as a way of working to preserve Douglass's legacy. For more events like this one, the campus community can check for emails from Springfield College's Office of Spiritual Life.
The weather on Alden Street has been doomy and gloomy the last few days, but will the sun finally start to peek through? We turn it over to SCTV3's Nina Hutchins in Studio B with our local and national weather update. Nina, how's it looking this week?
Thank you, Shane. In true New England fashion, a brief trend of warmer temperatures is yet again interrupted by more snowfall. Another round of snow is expected to move in on Friday and Saturday, bringing more wintry weather to Alden Street. Some light flurries are also possible on Monday, which will keep skies mostly cloudy throughout the first half of the week. There is finally some sunshine slated for Tuesday with a high in the mid-30s, but it won't last long. More precipitation moves back into the area on Wednesday and Thursday, with rain and snow showers forecasted throughout both days. Despite recent optimism, it seems we're not quite yet ready to pack away the winter coats just yet. Now, on to our national weather headlines. California officials are urging people to avoid all mountain travel as crews work around the clock to clear roads and restore power to tens of thousands of residents. This is just one piece of the aftermath from record-breaking snowfall that hit California's Sierra Nevada mountains. While 4 feet were expected, areas like Mammoth Mountain and the Palisades Tahoe have reported up to 66 inches. The massive accumulation has left many regions in a state of emergency. Several major highways remain closed, along with numerous businesses and schools. It also resulted in what ended up becoming a fatal avalanche on Tuesday, one that killed 8 skiers and left another missing. It was the deadliest avalanche in California's history. As the full impact of the storm still unfolds, affected communities are encouraged to stay vigilant and informed on local alerts. Want to see how members of the first-year class are enjoying Springfield College? You'll get to find out right after the break. You're watching SCTV3 Weekly News. Stay with us.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
This is SCTV3 Weekly News. I sat down with 2 first-year students and asked them questions about their adjustment to campus life.
I've adjusted by meeting and talking to new people, especially like not just on my floor, but like on different floors and in different dorms, because it's like having people from like different towns, but just on like different dorms, and you know, they're cool.
I think that I've adjusted to the dorm life pretty well. It's definitely very different than living at home, but it's really nice having a roommate who I really like and who I can trust.
So I've implemented Spare Mind Body by working out at the gym and on the football team.
So along with just going to my classes, I also take time to go to the gym, and I've joined club gymnastics where I compete all 4 events.
Quizlet has been really good for me. I just upload it straight from my Google Docs to the website, and it makes like flashcards and tests for me.
Something that I really like to do to study is go to the library and rewrite all of my notes out onto the whiteboard in lots of different colors.
The saute when they have like the Alfredo sauce and the sausages, or the grill when they have like hot dogs or like burgers and french fries.
My favorite meal at Cheney is the chicken parmesan with asparagus.
On-campus activity, it's not really an activity, but like when me and the guys, we go to Cheney and we just chill, like Cheney chilling. That's one of the best things to do here, because like you'll be there, get there at like 6, and you won't come out until like it's time to leave. So it's just like all the talks that you have, you know, it just builds character.
My favorite on-campus activity is definitely bingo. I love that so many students go, and there's super big prizes.
Be sure to utilize the academic resources on campus, as well as attending on-campus events. We now shift over to some of the top national stories of the week.
Tragedy struck at a high school hockey game in Rhode Island, with a fatal shooting that left 3 dead, including the shooter. SCTV3's Nick Pantages has more.
Gunshots rang out during a high school hockey game at the Dennis M. Lynch Arena in Pawtucket, Rhode Island last Monday. The shooter, Robert Dorgan, who also goes by the name Roberta Esposito, opened fire during the game in what authorities suspect was a targeted attack in a family dispute.
What I can confirm now is that the suspect was Robert Dorgan. His date of birth is July 15th of 1969. One of the victims was his ex-wife, Rhonda Dorgan, and also his son, adult son Aiden Dorgan.
The shooting was prevented from becoming more deadly due to the brave actions of many spectators, including Michael Black. Black was able to grab the shooter's gun, while others came over to subdue the shooter. Dorgan was still able to grab his second gun, which he used to take his own life.
I took a step up on the seat and I dove with the focus of going after the gun. I grabbed the gun and my hand was inserted in the slide. So I had my left hand inserted the slide. I had my right hand pushing down on him with my body kind of on top of him. And he was trying to pull the trigger, but my hand was in there, so nothing was working.
The following night, an extremely emotional vigil was held in nearby North Smithfield, with powerful messages and unity spread through the Rhode Island community.
Safe space, our home, was violated, and my boys are hurting. My coaching staff is hurting.
In addition to Rhonda and Aiden Dorgan, both of Rhonda's parents and a family friend were injured in the shooting and are currently in critical condition. None of the players from either team were hurt. With SCTV3, I'm Nick Pantages.
This is the second high-profile mass shooting in Rhode Island in the last 3 months, following December's attack at Brown University in Providence.
Tributes are pouring in across the country as civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson is remembered for a lifetime of activism. SCTV3's Tyler Semenich has more.
Outside the Rainbow Push Coalition office in Chicago on Tuesday, Carolyn Dunbar brought flowers to honor the late Reverend Jesse Jackson, saying the loss feels like family.
I'm going to miss him, everything that he stood for us as a people. My tears are real.
In New York, the Reverend Al Sharpton described him as a mentor.
So he made me believe even a kid on welfare in Brownsville, Brooklyn, could be somebody because of Jesse Jackson.
Jackson, a civil rights leader who marched alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., went on to found his own organizations committed to fighting for justice and equality for the underrepresented.
My constituency is the desperate, the damned, the disinherited.
In the 80s, Reverend Jackson ran for president twice. While he faced criticism in his first campaign for anti-Jewish comments, he's credited with expanding the Democratic coalition.
Presidential campaigns of 84 and 88 were influential in how he conducted a campaign to really bring people who were locked out and left out.
In a statement, former President Barack Obama called Jackson a true hero and said he laid the foundation for his own campaign. The flag was lowered to half staff at the historic district building in Washington, D.C., where Jackson pushed for D.C. statehood. Despite declining health in recent years, Jackson continued to make public appearances, including at the 2024 Democratic National Convention, where he received a standing ovation. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Tyler Semenich.
From Chicago to Washington, leaders and supporters alike are honoring Jackson's decades-long fight for equality.
The search for Savannah Guthier's mother continues, as police have now identified a potential suspect. While his identity still remains a secret, a black glove may give investigators a lead. SCTV3's Jake Mawini has more.
For nearly 3 weeks, the search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie has felt like chasing a ghost. But while hundreds of volunteers searched the Arizona desert, forensic teams were focused on a single silent witness, a black glove, discovered 2 miles from Guthrie's home. It was a visual match to the one worn by the masked man seen on Nancy's porch the night she vanished. Investigators weren't just looking at the fabric, they were looking for what was inside it. By Tuesday morning, that search hit a wall. Authorities confirmed the unknown male profile recovered from the glove has been fully processed. They have his genetic code, a perfect digital fingerprint, but they still don't have his name. The reason? The national database, known as CODIS, is a library of the known. If this kidnapper has no prior felony record, he is effectively invisible. In the eyes of the law, a person's DNA only becomes a searchable identity after they've been caught once before. With the DNA database empty, authorities are turning to the sky and a rare piece of technology known as a signal sniffer. Nancy Guthrie lives with a pacemaker, a device that normally whispers data to a phone app, on her nightstand. At 2:28 a.m. on the night she vanished, that connection was severed. Now specialized sensors mounted on low-flying aircraft are scanning the desert, hoping to catch a faint Bluetooth pulse from that heart monitor. Nancy's daughter, Savannah Guthrie, recently made a statement on her Instagram regarding her mother.
To whoever has her or knows where she is, it is never too late to do the right thing.
For the Guthrie family, science is a secondary to the survival of their mother. They have been officially cleared as suspects, leaving the focus entirely on a ghost in the system, a man whose identity is known to science, but remains hidden by the law. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Jake Mawhinney.
SCTV3 will continue to keep you posted on the status of Nancy Guthrie.
After the break, SCTV3's Connor Rourke has you covered with SCTV3 Sports Extra.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hello, and welcome back to this week's edition of Sports Extra. I'm Connor Rourke. Women's basketball continued its streak of dominant play against Wellesley on Saturday. The Pride didn't skip a beat on offense and were in control of the game from start to finish. Springfield charged into a 70-41 win over Wellesley after an all-around performance, 30-16, and out-rebounding them 43-26. 27% of their shots from within the arc. Junior Natalie Lucas led the Pride in scoring with 20 points. Springfield honors its seniors before the game, and what better way to celebrate for Amanda Leary than scoring her 1,000th point of her collegiate career. SCTV3's Liam Riley was at the game and has more.
I'm here in Blake Arena. The Springfield College women's basketball team's 70-41 victory over Wellesley marked their 4th straight win and ended their regular season home record at 9-4. Natalie Lucas and Carey has carved up the Blues' interior defense as Amanda Leary joined the 1,000-point club, becoming the 19th player in the team's 62-year history to do so. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Liam Riley.
Honestly, just confidence. I definitely coming in did not have any confidence in myself. And honestly, I feel like recently, like that's just clicked as of like maybe the past month and like coming up on these like big meets. Like I kind of realized that I have to have confidence in order to do good. And I feel like that's kind of always what he says is just have confidence and have fun.
Springfield will compete in the NUMAC Championship at MIT starting tonight and going through Sunday. We now turn over to the athletes in action on Alden Street this upcoming week. The men's and women's track and field teams will participate in the Triangle Classic held in the college's fieldhouse. Men's basketball closes out the regular season with a NUMAC matchup versus Emerson on Saturday starting at 1. Women's lacrosse kicks off the season battling Skidmore on Stag Field for a midweek matchup. And closing out the home schedule is men's volleyball facing off against Rutgers Newark. Now taking a look at this week's road schedule. The men's and women's swimming and diving teams are set to compete in the NUMAC Championships, taking place at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Women's basketball will close its season out on the road against Emerson on Saturday at 1. Women's gymnastics looks to bounce back from its loss against Rhode Island College last week as it heads to Cortland on Saturday. Men's lacrosse will start its season facing Stevens, playing in its first game without legendary head coach Keith Bugby in 42 years, and first game under the new head coach Sean Quirk. If you would like more info about Springfield athletics, head to springfieldcollegepride.com. This week's Athlete of the Week interview features one of the many stars for the #1 men's volleyball team in the country. Brendan Cutter has been dominant as a middle blocker for the Pride and has had a stellar start to the season, earning the Morgan Classic Tournament MVP. SCTV3 reporter Caleb Knowles sat down with Cutter. Here's more.
Hello and welcome to another edition of SCTV3 Athlete Interview of the Week. I'm Caleb Knowles alongside junior Brendan Cutter on the men's volleyball team. How are you doing today?
Great, how are you?
I'm doing well. Okay, so coming off the Morgan Classic MVP, walk me through kind of what that accomplishment was like and what that whole weekend was like for you guys.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. 2 big wins for our team. It's a huge accomplishment. I mean, I owe it all to my teammates and everyone putting me in good opportunities to succeed. Yeah, great for the team. Great for the fans and families. Great stuff, yeah.
Obviously, Springfield College Volleyball has such high expectations this year. How do you guys not let the moment get too big? How are you guys staying locked in this year?
Yeah, we talk a lot about staying present and really diving into the process. So whatever it might be, like a practice, a lift, or anything really, we know it's going to be big, or it's hard to not think about the end of the year, think about the postseason, but the only way we'll get there is if we stay present and locked in the process and doing those little things right.
Yeah, one thing I always notice kind of as a bystander is, the high energy that Springfield College men's volleyball always seems to bring. What kind of goes into that energy and why is the team chemistry so good?
Yeah, I mean, we harp on that a lot. Coach talks a lot about our energy, our cohesion. It's really a factor that differentiates us from other teams in the country is even when we go to away games, we like to try to take over the gym with our bench, our families in the crowd. So, yeah, that's a big part of our success.
So walk me through, pre-game, what your kind of routines are. You personally, how do you get locked in for a game?
Yeah, I like to keep it light, joke around with teammates, and then not get too locked in until right before the game. I go to AT, make sure we're ready for the game, health-wise, and during warm-ups, keeping it light and focusing on a couple small things, like maybe I want to block better that day or hit better that day. So not really going too hard on the mental part, but keeping it light and focusing on just 1 or 2 things.
Obviously, last year you guys were 1 win away from really kind of completing the dream season. And obviously the goal is still the same this year, get back to that stage. How do you, knowing what happened last year to lose on the biggest stage, how do you guys get back to that? What's the focus this season?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about, Coach says a lot, a mistake isn't a mistake until you fail to correct it. So we're using that as a learning experience. One of our coaches actually was on the team last year who beat us in the final. So he's given some good perspective into some things we can work on. And yeah, really just making sure we're not thinking too much about it, but taking it as a learning experience. And we want to get back there and finish it this time. So.
And then one final question. It wouldn't be Springfield College Volleyball without kind of playing under Coach Sullivan and the legacy that he brings. So what has it been like to play under him and kind of come into your own with this team?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, he has a whole different approach than any other coach I've had in my career playing volleyball. He's very into statistics, scouting. We do a lot of good stuff and really the mental side of the game. So it's been really cool to really learn about some of the things I wouldn't even have thought of before coming here with self-talk and team cohesion is a big one. So that mental aspect is pretty cool to learn more about, and it's been a really great experience.
Well, Brandon, it was great talking to you. That'll be all for this week's edition of SCTV3 Athlete Interview of the Week. Back to you guys in the studio.
Although both teams fell short of a NUMAC championship banner last season, the Springfield College lacrosse programs have their eyes set on it for 2026. SCTV3's Sam McGilpin gives a closer look at each team's season ahead.
Both the men's and women's lacrosse seasons are about to be underway, so let's take a look at the season previews for each respective squad. The men's lacrosse team is hungry for a NUMAC championship after falling short to Babson in the title game last season and is led by attackman Jake Degnan. The junior has 87 career goals and is on pace to break the Pride's all-time goal record. Degnan was named to the USA Lacrosse Magazine preseason All-American team after a strong 2026 campaign, earning NUMAC Player of the Year honors. For Degnan and the rest of the team, the coaching staff has been a huge component to the team's development throughout the fall and preseason, as Sean Quirk takes over for Keith Bugby in his first year, with other new assistant coaches such as Chris Piatelli, Caden Quirk, Kevin Tierney, and Sam Serrano.
It's been great. I mean, the whole staff is just amazing. The new ones, the old, and the people that are returning, they're still just amazing. They're doing a great job kind of just coming in and just giving everybody a fair shot, and I think everyone notices that, and we've all been loving the new staff.
Springfield had an impressive second scrimmage, cruising by Conn College, and have its first regular season matchup against a ranked Stevens Tech team. When it comes to expectations, Degnan is pretty clear about what this team is striving for.
My expectations for the season is to be back in the NUMAC Championship on Stag Field and winning it this year, 100%.
The women's team also has those same expectations, trying to win its first NUMAC championship since 2022. Although several key pieces graduated last season, the team brings back 3 of its 5 top goal scorers in Izzy LaLancet, Lily Johnson, and Claire Agnabene, as the trio looks to get out to a fast start in their first game against Skidmore. Head coach Jen Thomas spoke highly about Elise Altland, Emma Murray, and Lindsay Vogt as the 3 defenders who will make an instant impact this year. The team is ranked 19th in the country by USA Lacrosse Magazine, as Johnson and LaLancet were both named preseason All-Americans, as Johnson spoke on that feat.
Definitely super special. It's a good feeling. It does take everybody though, like this is a team sport, and I really want to put emphasis on that, so it's like I wouldn't be here without all other 30 girls. It takes everybody, so yeah, but I'm super happy.
Because of the large roster turnover, LaLancet and the rest of the Pride have already embraced the challenge.
Losing a lot of people last year was something that we knew was going to happen, so I think just bringing the intensity every single day. So I think we just have a lot more fight this year and a lot more will to win.
Both teams look to cap off their season openers with a win, with the men's team going to play Stevens in Hoboken, New Jersey at 3 p.m. on Saturday, and the women's team hosting Skidmore next Wednesday at 4 p.m. right here on Stag Field. With SCTV3, I'm Sam McGilpin.
That'll do it for this week's edition of SCTV3 Sports Extra. Stick around after the break to learn more about the annual Girls and Women's in Sports Day.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I responded to.
Communities must step up
Laws
and
alone
protest
cannot
against this
stop the
normalizing.
bullying.
Well, I completely disagree.
Point of inquiry, do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
This past Saturday, Springfield College celebrated National Girls and Women in Sports Day with a hands-on event designed to inspire the next generation of athletes. SCTV3's Dante Iafredi went inside the college's on-campus fieldhouse to see what the event was all about.
Laughter, learning, and movement filled Springfield College's athletic fieldhouse earlier this week. In celebration of National Girls and Women's in Sports Day, Springfield College welcomed young athletes for a 3-hour event focused on fun, confidence, and trying new sports. Participants rotated through stations including volleyball, softball, field hockey, tennis, and dance, all led by Springfield College student athletes.
Sports are really important for young girls because it's an area where no one's telling you what to be. You have the opportunity to explore for yourself who you are. You get to be fierce, you get to be courageous, you get to be a leader, you can be strong, you can be intimidating. Just all those things that usually aren't expected of young girls, but they get to really lean into that in sporting settings.
Midway through the event, participants took a break from the stations to enjoy snacks and a performance from the Springfield College Pride dance team, turning the field house into a celebration of movement and community.
Oh, the energy in this field house was amazing, completely amazing. I would say this event was even more positive than I could have hoped for. I brought my 9-year-old grandbaby. The family is going to hear about this and these athletes all year long.
Organizers say the goal of the day is to give young girls the opportunity to explore sports in a supportive environment while learning from college athletes who once stood in their place.
I have two favorites, dance and soccer.
Why was dance and soccer so fun?
Because I like dancing and I like playing soccer.
With sports, smiles, and inspiration, National Girls and Women's in Sports Day at Springfield College showed that the future of athletics begins with opportunity.
Events like this not only introduce young girls to new sports, but also give them role models to look up to. I spoke with the president of Springfield College, and President Cooper mentioned how this year's event was one of, if not their biggest turnouts yet. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Dante Iafredi.
That will do it for this week's edition of SCTV3 Weekly News. Thank you for joining us.
Check out SCTV3 on YouTube, where you can see every archived show, and be sure to follow SCTV3 on all social media platforms.
SCTV3 will bring you more news and sports coverage next week. We'll see you then. Same time,
same place.